Hello friends, welcome to our channel Knowledge Amplifier, and in my this particular video I am going to discuss some concepts related to implementation of multiple linear regression. Okay, in my previous video I have already given you the fundamental idea and the MATLAB implementation. Okay, here I have given the code in the description box also. You can see, suppose our model is output feature y is dependent on two input feature x1 and x2, then how we have created the multiple linear regression code using these simple lines. Right now I have used P inverse A in this particular equation, and I told you that many times what happens that for our actual matrix A, the actual inverse does not exist. It might be a rectangular matrix, it might not be a square matrix, and as you know that for square matrix only inverse is possible, for rectangular matrix it is not possible. So that's why we are using PINVA. I have given this explanation in this particular video. The link I will be providing in the description box. You can go and check there. But many of you asked that what is the internal algorithm of this PINVA? Like here I have seen some comments like, can you explain what each of the elements of the code means so that I can reproduce? Okay, so to get the complete meaning you need to understand the algorithm of PINV. Okay, then here why PINVA? Okay, so to make this particular part clear, I am making this video where we will be understanding what is PINV from scratch. Then we will code the same without using PINV and we'll verify whether we are getting same result or not. Okay, so let me go to the document which I have created. So here is my small data set. Okay, so x1, x2 and y. This x1 and x2 are my input features, y is my output feature. So obviously the multiple linear regression model, you will be telling y equal to beta naught plus beta 1x plus beta 1 x1, sorry, this will be beta 1 x1, that is first feature, plus beta 2 x2, right? So what we will do, we will put all the values and we will create some linear equation, right? Set of linear equation. Like here beta naught plus beta 1, first x1 value is 3, so beta 1 into 3 plus beta 2 into 16 equal to 90. Then beta naught plus beta 1 into 5 plus beta 2 into 10 equal to 72. Okay, then beta naught plus beta 1 into 6 plus beta 2 into 7 equal to 54. Then beta naught plus beta 1 into 8 plus beta 2 into 4 equal to 42. Then beta naught plus beta 1 into 12, okay, plus beta 2 into 3 plus beta 2 into 3 equal to 30, right? Then beta naught plus beta 1 into 14 plus beta 2 into 2 equal to 12. Like this, if we put, we will be getting this set of equation, right? Now in applied linear algebra course you have studied how to solve set of linear equation. First convert to matrix representation. Okay, so if I convert to matrix representation, I will be getting this one. Okay, so first complete column will be all ones. Okay, then second column will be basically our first input features, third column will be our second input feature, and this will be beta naught, beta 1, beta 2, and we will be getting our output. You can cross verify the dimension is satisfied. This is 6 cross 3, this is 3 cross 1. When you multiply, you should get 6 cross 1, which we are getting here. So this matrix representation is perfect. Okay, you can regenerate this set of linear equation from this particular matrix representation, right? Because 1 into beta naught plus 3 into beta 1 plus 16 into beta 2 equal to 90. Okay, see, that is nothing but beta naught plus beta 1 into 3 plus beta 2 into 16 equal to 90, first equation. Like that you can generate all. Now our target is getting these values, beta naught, beta 1, beta 2, right? Now how we can get that? So obviously we have to send this particular term in this side, so we have to take inverse of that. So what we can do, we can multiply inverse of this particular matrix in both left and right hand side. So when that inverse will be multiplied with this one, it will become identity matrix. As a result, identity matrix multiplied by this one will be this one only, and we will be getting the values in the right hand side, right? But the problem is that this is rectangular matrix 6 cross 3, for which our the inverse does not exist. This is over-determined system. Okay, 3 unknown, beta naught, beta 1, beta 2, 3 equation is sufficient, but we are having 6 equation. So over-determined system. Okay, so how we can do that? So that's why the concept comes pseudo inverse. Let me discuss what we are doing now. So instead of writing the whole matrix again and again, I have represented this with this small one, where our 6 cross 3 matrix, that is coefficients, are represented by A matrix. X is our beta naught, beta 1, beta 2 column matrix, our coefficient which I have to determine, which is 3 cross 1, and this B is basically our Y value, okay, output features, okay, 6 cross 1. Now for this A, the problem is that inverse does not exist. Okay, now forget about everything, just simply tell me whether transpose exists or not for this particular rectangular matrix. Obviously yes, because transpose has no relation with rectangular or square or any, for any shape matrix transpose will be existing, right? So transpose exists, so we can easily calculate A transpose, right? So what is A transpose A? Tell me. A transpose will be A, as A is 6 cross 3, so A transpose will be 3 cross 6. So 3 cross 6 multiplied by 6 cross 3 will give us 3 cross 3. So this is square matrix, and obviously we know when we multiply one matrix with its transpose, we will be getting one square matrix, and square matrices are inverse possible, right? So this is invertible, right? So what we have got, that although A is not invertible, for A although inverse does not exist, but A transpose A is invertible. We can get inverse of this. Okay, so now what we can do? Simple. Suppose the inverse of A transpose A is A transpose A whole inverse. Like this we can represent the inverse, right? So if you multiply one matrix with inverse, we should get identity matrix. So I hope this equation is also clear to you. A transpose A whole inverse multiplied by A transpose A equal to identity matrix. And obviously identity matrix is going to be 3 cross 3 because both are 3 cross 3, right? Now here in this part, bracket is very important because we are taking inverse. Before that we are multiplying A transpose and A. But in this side, the bracket, whatever I am giving, this particular parenthesis is not important because we are just simply multiplying. So we can remove the parenthesis for the time being and we can get this one. Okay, and I have written the dimensions in this particular part. Okay, so you can see A transpose A whole inverse, which is 3 cross 3 I have written. Then A transpose only I have written. What is A transpose dimension? See, A is 6 cross 3, so A transpose will be 3 cross 6. See, 3 cross 6, right? And then A, which is obviously 6 cross 3, I am writing. And in the right hand side, it is identity matrix. Now what I am doing, I am grouping this particular part. Okay, so I will be getting this set. It is clear, I guess, up to this. So A transpose A whole inverse multiplied by A transpose. Now what will be the dimension of this particular one? See, A transpose A whole inverse is 3 cross 3, A transpose is 3 cross 6. So A transpose A whole inverse multiplied by A transpose will be 3 cross 6, right? As simple as that. So this one term having dimension 3 cross 6, and here A is present, which is 6 cross 3. Again, see here also dimension is satisfied. 3 cross 3 multiplied by 6 cross 3 will give me 3 cross 3, right? Now, if you consider this particular one as a single term, okay, single value, not value, we can say single term because this is matrix. So value means one single scalar value. Anyway, so if you consider this as one matrix, you see what is happening. This term multiplied by A, we are getting identity matrix. That means this is nothing but inverse of A. So see, using some matrix method and mathematical computation, we have created inverse of a matrix for which inverse does not exist, or we have created inverse of rectangular matrix. So this is our inverse for this particular rectangular matrix. Okay, now come back to this particular problem, where the problem was we have to find out X, but the problem was for A we don't have the inverse, but now we have calculated the inverse. So what we will do, I am taking the same equation Ax equal to B. okay, which is basically nothing but representative of this particular equation only, which is one over determined system, right? And then what I am doing, I am multiplying this particular term, which is inverse of this rectangular matrix A in both sides, okay, and you will be getting, see, just simply multiplied this term both sides, nothing else. Ax equal to b was already there, and just I have multiplied like this, right? Now you tell me, what is this? A transpose A whole inverse into A transpose is basically inverse of our A. So when you multiply these two, you will be getting identity matrix, and you can see that this particular term is 3 cross 6, and when you are multiplying with A, which is 6 cross 3, we will be getting identity matrix of 3 cross 3, right? So that's why I have written here identity matrix of 3 cross 3 multiplied by x, which is actually 3 cross 1, okay, equal to writing the right hand side as it is, okay, right? Now identity matrix 3 cross 3 and x 3 cross 1 will give us x only, because any matrix when you multiply with identity matrix, you will be getting that matrix only. And here dimension is also satisfied. You can see 3 cross 3 multiplied by 3 cross 1 will give me what? 3 cross 1. So x, which we require to calculate for linear regression, that beta naught, beta 1, beta 2 values equal to A transpose A whole inverse. Then we are multiplying A transpose with that. Then we are multiplying B, that is output feature, with that. And you can see here also dimension is satisfied. 3 cross 6 multiplied by 6 cross 1 is giving me 3 cross 1. Here also 3 cross 1, here also 3 cross 1. So perfectly we can calculate now the coefficient x, that is beta naught, beta 1, beta 2 value. Okay, and this particular term is called pseudo inverse. Why pseudo inverse? Because you can feel the importance of this term from the name itself. There is significance of nomenclature. See, A, which is a matrix for which inverse does not exist, but using some mathematical computation we are doing such that we are calculating inverse of that. So this is not actual inverse, but with some mathematical manipulation we are doing this. Manipulation means not some illogical way, using some logical way only we are appearing in this conclusion. That's why it is called pseudo inverse. That is not actual inverse, okay, but pseudo, right? So now we can simply get the value of beta naught, beta 1, beta 2, right? As simple as that. So now let me go to MATLAB and show you the code.